there, I'm Michelle Toy with SmithGeiger, joined by my colleagues Nicole Bergen and Andrew FInlayson.
Hey,
Hi,
Michelle.
guys.
Hi there.
So we've been on lockdown now for several months during this pandemic, and restrictions are starting to be lifted. And I'm curious, what are consumers saying that they want to do first?
It's a great question, Michelle. And as you can see here on my screen, there's a lot of things they are interested in doing. For example, shopping at local merchants, more so than perhaps visiting their relatives, meeting friends for coffee, shopping at malls. Those are all things that we're seeing that they're really excited to do within the first month of those restrictions being lifted.
You know, we're right in the middle of what would our summer break, right? Normally when we'd be going on vacations with our families, going to amusement parks, things like that. What are we seeing about consumer behavior now that this summer is so different?
Yeah, it is really different. And you can kind of see here on the right side of the screen that the interest in staying at hotels and getting on airplanes is quite low. Less than a quarter of Americans say that they're comfortable with that. So I think you're going to see a real uptick in staycations in local areas with consumers. And as you can see by way of this research on the screen, Michelle, we asked a lot of Americans across the country how they feel about this. And the statement was presented: I will likely do a staycation instead of a vacation that requires me to fly somewhere. Over 50% of America, Michelle, said that they agree with that statement. So it presents a really interesting opportunity for local businesses and local tourism to capture these consumers that are inching at the bit to get out of their homes in a safe way.
There's definitely some opportunities for advertisers, I think. Andrew, do you have some examples of that?
Yeah, so I think Nicole hit it on the head. You know, when you think about staycations, it's typically something that you would drive to. It may or may not involve an overnight stay. Perhaps you're going to go visit friends and family. But the reluctance to get on a plane means ultimately this is a local advertising opportunity. That's great for TV stations and radio stations around the United States because typically these destinations, these resorts, these attractions are within the signal strength of the local broadcaster. But it's not just those locations that people want to go to. There's also a really important theme that Nicole and I have picked up on, and we can show you some examples of this. It's staycations at home. This idea that this staycation summer means that you have the opportunity to actually enhance the experience in your backyard. And you can see here a range of advertisers who are playing off of this theme. Don't get on a boat, take your safest vacation, which is what? Develop a pool or a spa in your backyard. You can see here all the different dimensions of people basically saying you don't have to leave your neighborhood to have a really great summer vacation. So this is something that, again, plays off of what Nicole's research shows and what I'm certainly seeing in my own life. I've got a neighbor who's putting a pool in right now because they simply don't want to take the risks of traveling right now.
Yeah, and
That's a great neighbor to have.
Yeah, and Michelle, if you have kids, trampolines being installed in backyards, we see people taking up gardening and planting vegetables and, purchasing outdoor patio furniture this summer to create that sanctuary environment that they're not going to this summer.
And I'm curious, Andrew, do you have any tips for newsrooms on how they can take advantage of the sentiment and put it into the editorial side?
Yeah, so it's not just an advertising opportunity for stations. We certainly can see that, but it's also a great opportunity for the newsrooms to be in sync with their audiences. So now that we know much of the audience is not going to be traveling this summer, what can local newsrooms do? Well, they can be very helpful, and I would argue be hopeful by giving people ideas of what they can do in and around their region. This plays into several strengths of local TV stations. One is it's the idea that we can help people be proud of where they live. Great local media always are intensely proud of where they live. And this gives us a chance to show off the local attractions that maybe you've avoided or haven't even thought about. Then there's the opportunity for us to help people make ends meet. The economy isn't what we'd all like it to be. This is the opportunity for great TV stations and radio stations to be able to say, look, we know you don't have a lot of money to spend, but you can still have a great summer vacation. Let us show you some one-tank trips that you might be able to take around the region. And then finally, this plays into your brand. If great brands are established around one thing, it's around helping the audience. And during this particular crisis, we need help. So this is a chance for those brands to say, look, we're going to help you figure out the good things that can happen this summer. That even though it's not the summer you dreamed of, you can still have a wonderful time with your friends and family. And that's ultimately, again, a very local opportunity that I think a lot of great TV stations are taking advantage of.
And Andrew, what I like about that is that it presents an opportunity for the station to provide content for the community, but also gives an opportunity for the advertiser to be associated with it, with the station brand. You know, lifestyle shows, they can be sponsored, these segments. So it's relevant to consumers, Michelle, right? This content is what they're looking for, and it can also be sponsored, which is great.
Great
Absolutely.
partnerships.
Yeah, the local lifestyles is an important aspect of that because those shows are about local attractions and businesses. This is a great place to showcase some of the fun things you can do this summer.
Well, thanks so much for both of your insights. Really great tips and appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Bye.